It's really creating all the big mess. I mean, like ecology. We are not happy to spontaneously just camp under a cave or a tree. We need to now have a hotel, for instance. So the credit cards and all of that. We human beings, we ask for programmed life. And somehow we think that cures everything. And now it's too late. I mean, if you want an excursion fare ticket, you have to book an air ticket 3 months before. No more spontaneity, my dear. My students, many of them take me very seriously, and actually that is one of the greatest living proof that karma does exist. Because here I am, out of nowhere, a Bhutanese, and there are people, I mean, from United States, from Canada, from France, and these people are very sophisticated. They are taught to think, they are taught to challenge, but now they are all sycophant. They believe everything what I say. This proves that these people have a lot of karmic debt with me, and they have to pay that debt, and they will keep on believing in my word. Western students are very, very fresh, and that's a very, very big advantage. Easterners, they're more confident with the path, and it is just because there's a trust. Because I guess it's the society. It's like extended family. If the mother is busy, shopping, she can trust and live it with, like the 14th uncle or the auntie, whatever. So that also is within the Dhamma. Like there is that trust. But, you see, the thing is, the very trust also has its own disadvantage, because then it becomes a blind faith. The very freshness of the West, the freshness, the inquisitive,